Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. You couldn't hear that. 9:20.
I need to remember live radio.
Well, you know what's funny is, you know, the best parts of the show are when we turn our microphones off, and they're just kind of sitting there going, what in the hell are they talking about over there?
It's like I get to see my adopted son a couple of times a month.
We get to chat it up a little bit. Well, you know what's funny is normally it's never anything heavy. It's just kind of like, what are we doing after this, you know? But there's some times where I'm like, man, this would have been a better segment if we had the mics on now. So coming up in 8 days.
Yes. Yes, thanks for reminding me.
So let me look at all of you really quick. In 8 days, Alabama Story is hitting Alton Little Theater, and this is really such a cool play. This is one that is going to be gaining national attention, already has.
Yes.
And it's going to be a play where I'm not being funny, guys. You're going to go, damn, I wish I saw this at Alton Little Theater before it went on to the big runs, and you're paying $800 or $80 just to park, you know, or get nosebleeds.
Exactly. I do think, like To Kill a Mockingbird, like The Miracle Worker, I mean, I think this will go down in history as one of those really important plays. And we're just so fortunate that coming out of the pandemic, Kenneth Jones, the playwright, who lives in New York and very protective of his script, as he should be, finally relented and said, okay, I'm going to take a chance on some community theaters. And we were the first in the United States.
So I didn't realize that portion of it. This is a big opportunity for you guys as well, you know, and that's why I hope people realize this isn't a quote-unquote political play at all.
No, and I wouldn't do that. And he has licensed it to 60 shows, 60 theaters throughout 2024. But we are the first in this area, even though it takes place in the deep imagination of the South in Alabama. And it's based on a true story. That's the other thing that I think is important for people to remember, because we think, oh, that couldn't possibly have happened in 1959. But yes, I was still a child in 1959, spending my summers in Houma, Louisiana. So I can tell you, oh, yeah, it could happen.
How many people lived in Humboldt, Louisiana?
240 people.
No kidding.
But it's been wiped out now by the last hurricane. They're trying to rebuild, but unfortunately, most of the horses, there's horse farms, and most of the horses just ran away. Just some are living in the bayou, some are
Could you imagine, though, like 4 months later going, is that Tony? You know, walking in the
Exactly.
But in all seriousness, so that's a great point about this being this isn't someone's interpretation of what things looked like in today's climate back in 1950. This actually is based on real events. Yeah.
And you know, because we've talked about Mary Cordes in the library here, they are my heroes. They not only help me personally, I don't want to lose public libraries.
No.
They are so valuable for any community. And we have a wonderful public library here. And so in studying famous librarians who went to the mat to fight for books, to fight for, integration of libraries, all kinds of things, we've kind of dedicated this play to Julia Hampton and Emily Wheelock Reed and all these wonderful librarians who went through some very hard times to have information be available to all citizens. And information is the key. You know that. Yeah. We're not trying to say you have to feel this way or this way. Just read, think, discuss, and then figure out what you want to do.
Well, and that's a good point, because sometimes we catch flack here because they go, well, this is just a lot of these stories are just general information. Well, yes, because they're news stories. They aren't biased stories where we kind of throw our opinion in there like others do. And that's what it's glad to hear you say that, because in today's climate, they think, well, this is just copied and pasted. No. it's called non-biased reporting, where we tell you the story. Here's what happened. Now it's your interpretations that take it from there. Whatever you think, if it's right or wrong, you go for it. And that, getting back to the Alabama story portion of this, that's what I hope folks realize the most, that this is really a true event. And all we're doing is having the opportunity to have this really up-and-coming play that's going to be a mainstay early on.
Oh, very early on. In 2019, it hadn't even been published. When the rep did it, it was just pages of dialogues that the actors sat around reading and trying to think about. And then it was going to be a showcase up in Springfield at the Lincoln Museum. Now it is published, and with lots of notes and lots of variations. If, in fact, you can cast it with 6 or 9. I chose 9 because I wanted to give more people an opportunity to be part of this. And so then that changes the dialogue a little bit. And I'm hoping...
Is it a drastic change?
Not drastic, but some of the language has to change as to who's responsible for that. And we have a brand new actor who just relocated from Chicago, Dennis Freimeyer, and I love him. But because I hadn't worked with him, I thought, oh my gosh, he already has these monologues. And I thought, do I want to have him play 3 other characters, which is done in some productions. I just wasn't sure our audience would catch on.
Yeah.
That he was just trying to have some fun and do that. So I actually cast those 3 characters and got just some wonderful men, just wonderful. We have 7 men and 2 women in the cast, and it's wonderful.
Well, I saw the photo, of everyone reading their scripts away and having some fun with it, and it looks like, to see some of the folks that I've gotten to watch on stage, or maybe even, kind of go on stage with, you have a really talented cast. I mean, that they're up to this task, because this is important. And in terms of and being serious, you have someone who's very protective, and rightfully so, over their work.
Yes.
And you got to have a good cast to put this on and really bring this to life. And you've done that by finding these really just talented individuals.
And they've been so helpful. I think I shared with you last week, the most difficult challenge I had was you have to have 5 copies of The Rabbit's Wedding. And because theaters are now doing this show and it's out of print, you cannot find 5 copies, but the library found the 5th copy. They're giving us an extended loan on it through the loan system. All over the United States, they can find a book for you.
What's funny is Mary and I just talked about that on Monday, because I said Lee was just on last week, and she said, yep, and she was talking about, just some of the things that in the collaboration, and it's it's cool to see 2 local organizations that are so instrumental, because to me, nothing's more important than public resources like the library, but also public arts, because arts is the only way really for anyone that's not an athlete or that's too old to play sports anymore to express themselves.
Exactly.
And it's just so important.
And when I say that we're your community theater, I'm not just doing that as a little promo.
No.
We're rooted in the community. We never received any state or federal funding.
No.
Like, there's no tax break, there's no nothing.
Right.
So, in fact, it is the people of this community, this not very moneyed community, who have supported us for 91 years.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we have to try and keep everybody alive here. And I have such pride in our library, and the fact that this play is about one little children's book that starts this
Wildfire.
Wildfire, yeah.
Well, and now if you're just tuning in, the show is March 15th, 16th, and okay, let's do this times right, because I do these wrong all the time. March 15th, 16th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd are all evening shows.
Yes, 7:30.
And then March the 17th and 24th are the matinees that sell out faster than,
Yes. Well, because some people don't like to drive at night.
I love the Sunday shows, though.
Well, and we're going to add a Saturday matinee next season. Not this season, but that's one of the things, because you already know we're doing Singing in the Rain in May, and so many people, so many tour groups. We even have, though, a tour group from one of the high schools coming to see that show. And so I thought, we're going to not have any room on Sunday. So we said next year we're going to add a Saturday matinee. We're going to try it. And then if there's a big demand, we'll go ahead and do it again at night. That's exhausting for the actors. But when we audition, we say there is a chance we may be doing a matinee and an evening.
And all takes now is for all of you to go to altonlittletheater.org and get your tickets.
Yes.
What I think's great is you guys make going out and having an enjoyable evening affordable. You go and try to do something like this and see especially a new play that no one's ever really seen before. Go to, any other big city, St. Louis, New York, or Chicago, you're paying a lot more money to go see this, even at a community theater in those areas.
Oh, absolutely. And I know people love musicals. I love musicals, but they are so expensive. We barely make a cent. I mean, literally a penny. Every time I look at the script for Singing in the Rain, I'm like, how many characters? How many times do they change clothes? What are they doing? Not to mention,
do you just
creating the rain. And I'm like, okay, how much was that PVC pipe?
That's what I was wondering. Did you just read the dollar signs in every sentence now on that script?
I do, but we were very fortunate that on the plays, in fact, the other playwrights next year, they're new playwrights, but published, and I'm so glad they send me plays, and I told you about 1 out of 10's a keeper. And they're just delightful to work with because then I can ask them questions.
Right.
And, we talk back and forth, and Kenneth Jones, who is the playwright here, he desperately is waiting for pictures. I said, the set is all finished, but we don't generally do costumes until next Sunday. So I said, I'll get some pictures, and then we can go from there.
Well, I just really hope that you guys get tickets, and there's 2 ways that you do it. 618-462-3205. That's 618-462-3205. Phone number to the box office.
Yes.
Is anyone there right now?
No, soon. 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, you can start calling and ringing that phone off the hook. Michael will be excited for that. And then you can go to altonlittletheater.org and get your tickets online. And I really encourage you to do so because, I don't know if this is the case, but just my assumption. If, more and more people start checking these shows out and enjoying them, then you're able to do more with Alton Little Theater, I'm sure, too.
Absolutely. I mean, it really is our ability to plan the whole next season and just keep the lights off. and all the
in all seriousness, because, we never really talk about that because it's not the glamorous side of entertainment or the glamorous side of business, but there are costs to things. And, and I hope the folks realize, and I don't ever see this happening, but God forbid if something ever happened, it would be one of the situations where a lot of people the first day would go, oh my God, we got to get Alton Little Theater back. Well, you could have just bought tickets and kept it going, you know?
The pandemic was tough. I mean, we were lucky that we had our own building, but it used a lot of our reserves, and just because you still have to keep the heat on and the air conditioning, and even if there's 38 people there, you have to do a premiere performance for them, and so that was rough. But we know we were lucky, but coming out of it, people would still say occasionally, oh, I didn't know you reopened. Well, we never closed. 40 days, the governor made us shut down, and we built things and did everything, improvements the whole time, but we never closed.
Well, and that's what I think shows your determination for the mission. Alton Little Theater as a whole, the determination, because, a lot of people took COVID as an excuse to take 2 months off. And not just 2 months, but a couple of months.
No.
You guys didn't. It was all hands on deck and trying to keep the ship afloat and trying to keep it all steering forward. And
we all had masks on, and you should see, you know how big the foyer is.
Right.
We'd eat lunch across the room so we could take our mask off.
Well, and it just shows the commitment, and that's what I think the world's missing anymore is people don't have the commitment they used to on projects because there's always the next up and coming thing and we all want to grab our hands on the shiny stuff. But you guys really do each and every day. It's like the first day you ever walked in the doors as the executive director. The passion's still there, and that passion's what we're losing in America. I mean, we really are.
I'm so proud of our younger generation, though. We just have some terrific kids. A lot of them came out to audition.
Really good.
For Singing in the Rain.
Awesome.
And I don't think Kevin's ready to announce the cast yet, but it's almost done. He's looking for some guys who can climb up that wall, who can do that Donald O'Connor flip on that wall. I know that's one thing. He's got a couple of guys kind of competing for that, but their schedules we have to work. Everybody's busy, but
you're right.
I'm so proud that we're doing the youth program again this year. We have 2 weeks of classes in July, and then we do a little free showcase for all the parents and everything. And we try to get those kids really to love live theater, and they do. We're missing your age to about 50. Everybody's raising raising kids, being busy, working 2 jobs, playing sports.
You're right, but you know what they aren't doing is finding the work-life balance, because it's great to keep going 100 miles an hour, but eventually that gets to you. And if, I do my segments with Centerstone like I do with you guys, and that's one thing we talk about all the time is you have to have some avenue to let the world kind of cool off a bit. And I encourage you, because every time I go to a show, now different being on the stage, because you're, sitting there going, I hope I don't have my Kramer meltdown moment, and all that nightmare stuff. But when you're watching it, you just escape.
That's why we have 4 weeks, 5 weeks of rehearsals, because everybody has that night where it's like, why did I want to do this?
I just thought about it. I told John I had the worst panic attack. I woke up one night sleeping because I had this thought. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have an absolute tirade on stage. What happens if that happens? What do I do? But, seriously, if you just go to a show, you do escape. There's no cell phone in your hand, no kids screaming, running around by you, just folks ready to enjoy some quality entertainment.
And I want them to talk about the show. It does not preach. It really presents information. And my fondest hope is that people will talk about it.
Yeah.
And can they relate? There's no good and evil. Even the senator, who Jake Tenberge does a wonderful job of being kind of slimy and charming.
Sounds like a good senator.
He funded the library. I
Whoa.
mean, because he loved Tom Sawyer growing up, and it got destroyed in a flood. But then he just gets it, his craw, that he doesn't like this little children's book.
No.
And he decides to run his whole platform on that, and he gets enough national attention, and then he can't back down.
So you got to keep going.
From it, yeah, because once he's in the limelight, even his old crony and his mentor tells him, give it up. Give it up. But he doesn't listen to him.
Well, and that's what I think is, you hit it right on the head, because you and I were talking, and maybe there is a disconnect for folks out there that thinks it might be, this current day and age thing, and it's not.
No.
Never in the slightest. This is about an event that happened, and, there are, of course, some correlating things, because history correlates and repeats itself.
It does. But in 2019, truly, it was so beautifully written, and I did love the characters, because it's a wonderful Southern story.
Yeah.
And I just was enchanted that they were based on real life people. I had no idea Florida was going to ban books. I had no idea. When I looked at the calendar, I didn't think, we're going to be in the middle of a political campaign and people are tired of this. I just wanted a beautiful play that people would be interested in.
Well, and that's the thing, too. It's heavily researched, too. It's not someone's interpretation. It's truly a research piece on what happened during this time period.
Yes. I told you, the first thing playwright did 60 pages of typewritten notes of his research, which he was willing to share. I mean, I think he worked on this for 4 or 5 years. That's why it wasn't even published, because there were some family members who didn't want to use the real name, but they let him use a name that was very close to the character's name.
Before we take a quick break, I got to ask you more about that, because to me, being a playwright, I could only imagine how easy of a job that is to get your shows out there and get people to take them, tongue-in-cheek aside. It's probably an amazing opportunity, for these playwrights like, Kenneth, to have their shows being, displayed throughout little theaters across the country. Is that like the farm system for how things go up the ladder? Does it always go to the main stage first? How does that work?
Well, there are few plays, not many musicals get developed for Broadway. Not many plays.
Really?
They usually start in regional theater, repertory theaters across the country, and then they get fine-tuned, and then they hire a star. You know that.
Yep.
Even on Broadway, to sell a play, they have to have a star or two, because to fill, they're trying to fill thousands of seats. We're trying to fill a couple hundred seats.
Right.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. I never knew how that broke down. So is there what happens after, if it goes well, to just more community theaters pick it up across the country?
Yes. Every day, not every week, every day I get something from the 5, 6 big royalty houses about new releases, and things to read. And yeah,
Wow.
I love to read books, obviously.
Right.
But I probably do spend 60% of my time reading new plays.
That's really cool. 9:41. We'll take a quick pause. I learned something today, right here on our daily show.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Is it time to buy, sell, or even time to consider a short sale of your property? Meet Lisa Webb, owner of 3rd Street Realty. This local, women-owned, family-operated realty group has over a decade of experience in foreclosures, first-time home buying, and so much more. 3rd Street Realty prides themselves on holding your hand through the entire process. Let their expertise guide you to your dream home. Visit 3rdstrealty.com and start your journey with Lisa Webb today.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
DJ Mike Heath.
This is where I am today. Let me show you how I started.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. We're missing Lee Cox real quick. 9:47. As we await the return of Lee in the studio, let me fill you in on ticket sales. I need you to get tickets for Alton Little Theater because, you know, they got somewhat of a family tradition going on down over there on, in Alton. I love what they do. And you can get tickets right now to Alabama Story and, be a part of the show. And even if you don't know if you're going to like it or not, maybe you're kind of hesitant, all that fun stuff that goes into play with this. Well, listen up. Take a chance. How many of you can honestly say you've been to a live theater performance in the last year? Raise your hand. I don't see anybody raising. You still got to, test the waters here. You still got to try it out. Plus, you're going to an institution, the Alton Little Theater Institution, and that's why I'm so happy to talk about them and hang out with Lee Cox, who, is always willing to lend a hand and give us her insights to Alton Little Theater, as they're one of our oldest institutions here in the heart of the 618, and they do so much great work with performers coming in and out of, the St. Louis area, and some of them coming from pretty big stages in the region that are coming back to Alton Little Theater, giving us their talent for all of us to do something crazy. Watch this. Ready? Cell phone, you put it down. It's a new concept. You don't have to touch it. You just enjoy what you're watching by, a live performance. You don't have to text about it. You don't have to take pictures. You just have to immerse yourself. And that's what Alton Little Theater does better than everybody, is just truly immerse the audience in that story, that escape from the real world. I mean, listen, it's State of the Union night, and there's a lot of pundits talking. I've already seen every social media feed. I'm tired of it already. I already got my State of the Union drinking game ready for tonight. There's so many things going on in this world that stress you out, that frustrate you. How amazing would it be to have the opportunity just to go and escape for a couple of hours? Go and escape and just be entertained by the best performers in the region. And welcome back from the tour of downtown Alton. You got your steps in. Lee Cox back in studio.
The lights are magical here. They go off all the time.
So I won't stay here at night anymore. I swear. It was 7 o'clock at night in the studio when the lights went off out there, and I have never been more scared in my life.
Yes, if you don't move, they're going to go
Yes,
off.
it's terrible. And it's like, I feel, by the end of the show when everybody leaves, it's like I'm down to 10 minutes and the lights turn off, and I feel like the newly divorced dad, when your kids leave the first time and you're just kind of sitting there depressed. That's kind of how it feels down here.
Well, our founder, Dorothy Colonius, is said to haunt our building, and there are some wonderful, weird things that happen once in a while. But of course, I know that Dorothy protects the theater and is so protective of
right.
me. I've had things where I was like, nobody's going to find me, and then suddenly someone shows up, and they do.
Right. Well, here's not the same way. I don't know what the heck is floating in this building, but they are not happy people. I can tell you that.
They still wanted the bank to stay here.
They're still mad about the feds.
Well, it
you know?
was the biggest banquet. I was a kid.
Yeah, it was. And, anyway, getting back, I did about a 5-minute live read for us. We just kept talking ticket sales. I wanted
good,
to
because
really,
I gave you our brochure.
Yeah, and I wanted to really hit on these two because this is beautiful, by the way. Who did this?
Thank you. Oh, Schwarzkopf Printing.
You did a wonderful job.
We use local businesses every chance we get. I mean, the royalty houses are in New York and Chicago.
Right.
I can't help that.
Yeah.
But everything else is local.
Well, if it's okay, can we talk about the upcoming season?
Absolutely, because the tickets go on sale for early birds during Alabama Story. The March show and the May show is when you can get your ticket. And absolutely, if you want Sunday afternoon, this is the time to buy them because then you are guaranteed that you will have that seat.
Right. And listen to this ticket price. $90. If you wait until September to purchase, which is still cheap.
Right, you're still
affordable.
saving $25 right then.
Or
yes.
from March 1st through May the 31st, enjoy a $5 off coupon good for any extra entertainment show.
Yep.
Or studio show. There's 5 choices, plus June 1st through August 21st still saves you $5 or $10 per couple.
Right, yeah, it's $85 starting now, and then it stays that way, but you get the $5 off coupon, so that's even more. And yeah, we have 5 main stage shows and 5 extra entertainment shows, so you can pick. But I think I'd mentioned to you, even if you wanted to see everything, which there's only 1 month, April of 2025, that we don't have something, but give me a little time. I'll come up with something. But it's $210 if you wanted to come every single month. But
Right.
if you just want to get your season ticket and then choose out of the extras because you're just interested in one thing or another, then that's just fine too.
Absolutely. Do you mean March? There's nothing going on? I'm confused.
Next March.
Oh, next March.
Oh,
okay.
no, but it's next April. And I just had a call this morning from someone who used our building 2 years ago, and he said, hey, do you have any space? And I thought, he's not going to believe me that we don't have really space, because when you do the musicals, that takes, Kevin, 7 or 8 weeks to get that set up and make it safe. And
how many people do the bigger theaters have for stage and decorations and design?
More than we do.
No, I mean, I'm curious because what Kevin and Brett and Brett and you guys do in 2 or 3 weeks or 7 weeks, I mean, it's pretty impressive that a team of 2 to 3 people can accomplish what they're accomplishing on that stage.
Well, it's like today. We all have our painting clothes. We all have our... and then it's like, okay, we have a meeting at 1, Kevin, so we have to go change, get down there, then come back. Then he's like, what time do you have to start rehearsal tonight? 6:30. Okay, run home, eat something, watch the news.
Well, and that's what's so fascinating. It just shows your commitment to it. And now, as we're talking here, let's just start off with some of the shows coming down the pipeline for the 91st season.
I know.
How about a family comedy? I like that, Lee Cox. September 20th through the 29th. This is Making God Laugh, presented with permission from Play Scripts.
Yes.
Directed by Christy Doring.
Yes,
Whoa.
yes. She directed one of our studio shows. She's the main director at Alton High School. Her daughter has been in a couple of productions, and we love Christy. And one of the directors who was slated to direct that took on a brand new job, and it involves some nights, and good for him. I mean, their family, they're trying to build a family and everything, so good for him. But I asked her if she would consider it. And Sean Grennan, the playwright, for those people who came to see Beer for Breakfast and love that, this is another one.
That was a fun show.
It was a very fun show. He understands the fun and dysfunction.
Right.
And there's a crazy mother in that show, which I'm dying to audition for, but we'll see who else shows up.
One show that will sell out, I think, before you guys even get to the 91st season, hear me out here, will be A Christmas Carol. I 100% think that this show will sell out before July. I have no doubt in my mind. It's one of my... I've seen it over at the big stage over there, which is beautiful, but I love the story. It's one of my favorites.
The Rep has done it 4 years, and my God, their costumes are gorgeous. But John Jakes, who is the historian, you may know him, he did a new rendition of this. It's about to enter the public domain, and so before it did, he wanted to do a special show that community theaters could stage.
Wow.
And it's gorgeous, and yes, we love knowing that people bring their children and grandchildren. but they can do it a lot easier at our prices than over at the repertory company.
This is what I thought. I mean, for somebody right now that's watching this, get your season tickets, but also purchase about 3 or 4 of these Christmas Carol seats, because that's the perfect Christmas gift for your older adults in your life, or just a friend, family member, your kids, to go do something fun for the holidays.
Well, and we decorate the foyer. We always have some specialty things, and a couple of, our ushers said, "Oh gosh, you're going all the way through the 22nd." I said, "They actually have a show on Christmas Eve usually, but we're going to the 22nd." And I volunteered Michael and I said, "We'll be there. We'll usher." I want people to come and enjoy the decorations and enjoy the show, and come with friends or come with their family.
Well, and that's why I'm just all these shows look so good, Lee Cox, and I'm very excited about them. But I want to give a shout out. Director Randy Manning, how about this? The X is coming in January 24th through the 2nd of February. Fill me in on Randy's. Is this his debut as a director?
It is. I mean, he's directed his whole business of just
he's good
murder mysteries. He's
very
good. He's a very talented actor. His instincts are just excellent.
His energy's pretty up there, too.
His energy's up there. He's funny guy, but I mean, he learns his lines. He's very disciplined.
Yeah.
Not everyone can be an actor and a director. It takes a special kind of blend.
I bet.
But he sold his business to his daughter, so he's semi-retired, although he's letting us use his rehearsal space this summer for some of the kid things, because he has some wonderful space there where he lives.
That's so cool.
But yeah, he read this show and he said, "But I really like it. I want to be in it." And I said, "Well, how about direct it?" But you never know. We don't usually recommend that the director be in a show, which is kind of why I'm not doing Making God Laugh, because I love that crazy mother role.
Well, can I ask you about what is I've never heard of this before.
Okay.
The 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
You're showing your age. It's been around for 25 years.
When I was born.
Yeah. No, it's a very, very funny show. And young adults play these interesting characters as high school students. And it's just a small town. It's really a salute to small towns and how hard the teachers and the principals and everybody were. But there are just the cutest songs in the world. A lot of the people who ended up working on Broadway musicals actually started out with this show. This is when you were asking me, could it go from the farm to Broadway? This one did.
Wow.
Yeah, it's usually the other way around.
Yeah.
But it was so popular with audiences, and it kind of changed a little bit. They wanted to use more puppets, and it became a bigger show.
Really?
And then it quickly went back to regional theater and came back to community theaters. There was only a couple of years where we couldn't get it. And so it has been done in the area maybe 2 times, maybe 3, but it hasn't been done in a while. And we really thought, and it was way down like Waterloo.
Okay, so miles away.
Yeah. So I thought, I want our audiences to enjoy this.
Well, that's really cool. And then the last major show is Women of a Certain Age.
Yes.
And this is directed by you.
Yes, it is.
Fill me in.
And I love the show, but I shouldn't be in it. But we have these women. I know we do, because they're really talented women who, in our youth-obsessed society, after 50, it's like, well, you're just supposed to be a grandmother. But see, grandmothers work. Great-grandmothers work. But finding something that you want to do. And one of these women just decides, I'm not ready to give it up. I'm not ready to just be old. Mm-hmm. And so she comes up with an interesting solution and enrolls her friends in that. And so it's a comedy. It's really very funny, but it's great for people who just say, don't discount me.
Right.
Because I'm over 50.
Right. Well, and then let's get to extra entertainment really quick.
Yes.
So this is really cool. May 31st through June the 9th, you're doing a Disney tribute.
We are, and I worried about the royalties, but Disney actually has many of their favorite songs in the public domain. You have to still pay a fee if you're going to wear a costume and pretend to be this character. But the song you can sing, you just can't look like Woody or you just can't look like Aurora. But we figured out a way to do it for not too much money. And when we did the Disney concert down here at the amphitheater, it was a huge success. 4,000 people saw it, but it was hot. And
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. I didn't know you had 4,000 people down there.
Yeah, it was a one-night concert. And the sad reality is we could have made a lot more money than we made down there because of the cost. And I feel for the city, and I feel for anybody who performs there. The lighting, unless you pay $25,000, $30,000.
So people thought I was being a little biased the other day because I was talking to the Amphitheater Commission and we were talking about the cost of shows, and I made a point that said, if we're only going to have a good of a show as you want if you put the money out to do it, because they don't understand that cost alone.
Yeah, they didn't. They brought in the B team, not the A team, and by 7:48 it was dark, and the lights weren't the lights they should have been, the microphones got wet, and the sound guy didn't know what to do, and we had kind of some people come and try and see our girls changing clothes. It was not a horrible experience, but it wasn't the best. So we waited, but we have the costumes, we have the wigs, we have a lot of things. So one of our young members said, let me do this, and let's get the pancake guy. He's over in St. Louis. You've probably seen him. And he does the pancakes, and he entertains the kids, and then he throws the pancakes, and I'm looking at the carpet cleaning, but I'm like, it'll be so much fun. And Becca Peach is one of those new people that I'm talking about. She's on the board.
Oh, yeah.
She
came on the show once.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just adore her. And so it's time to let her do some new projects and take over. So that's just kind of a little fun one. But I can't believe you haven't mentioned Rocky Horror yet.
We're getting there.
Okay.
So we got Oliver coming up August 2nd through the 11th.
Yes, big. We try and do a big family musical, and people might think, well, wait, isn't Bill Sykes kind of a bad guy? He is, but we root for her to survive him.
Right.
There's beautiful music. This is like what you would go to at the Muni, and I love the Muni. Don't get me wrong. Sat in the free seats my whole childhood.
Right.
Doing that. But for people to be introduced to a classic musical for $27 and not $127.
No kidding.
Is very important because, again, people can't even take their teenagers, even if they don't want to take the little ones. Our youth prices under 18 are 18.
Right.
So that's a really good deal.
Well, and then getting on to Rocky Horror the musical, this is really cool. How'd you guys get the rights to that? That's a big deal.
We call it a cult following, which
that's true.
I love the people who have seen it 6, 7, 8 times. And again, Becca and her crew asked me if we could do it at midnight on Halloween. I said, no, wait. Halloween is sacred here in Alton. We have the parade, but it's over at 10:30 at the latest.
That's true.
So everybody's going to be in costume anyway.
That would be really fun.
Oh, yes. And Michael and I volunteered. I volunteered him because the ushers were like, we won't get home until 3 a.m. I said, Michael and I will usher that night. We'll have a blast because, there's all kinds of audience interaction and people do dress up. And then if people have never seen the show before, they get a special notice as virgin to come see the show.
Well, and too, Halloween's on a Thursday night.
Yes.
So that's
take off Friday.
That's what I'm kind of thinking. I already got my day planned for October 31st. And then the Best of the Best Broadway coming up the pipeline November 23rd and 24th.
There are lots of shows. This is a vanity project, I admit. There's lots of shows we've always wanted to do. I mean, Phantom of the Opera, even Chorus Line. Well, we can't do those shows.
No way.
But we can do my favorite songs from those shows. And we have beautiful gowns, and we have tuxedos, and we can make it really special and do some of those numbers. And again, it's not the same as seeing the whole show, but many people, the season tickets at the Fox, and goodness knows they're hurting, but starting at $800, and that's not for all the shows. You get like 4 shows. So I just want to bring a little taste of some of those Broadway shows that people have said, oh, I wish I could have seen Phantom. I wish I could have gone and seen that.
Do I even need to plug the youth acting classes? Because we talked about these last year, Lee, and I knew whenever you announced them, they were going to go like hotcakes. And
well, except this year we're changing the format of 2 solid weeks in July. And I don't know. The problem is we did 9 weeks, but the kids kept having vacations and other things happening. And you do it over July 4th weekend, just forget it. So it is a commitment. But on April 28th, we're having an open house at the theater because we want so many kids to audition for Oliver and know about that. But we also want them to sign up because we have to limit it to 12.
We'll do something on that. We'll do something on that open house and get more folks there, too.
Yeah, because we get calls. I get emails all the time or through the website that people have a young one. And it is difficult. We try not to compete with the school programs, but I am amazed how many kids are homeschooled. I really never knew in our area
it's growing.
It's growing. It is totally growing. In fact, I would say a third of our class last year was homeschooled.
100%. So I said that, and it's even before all the scuttle at Alton High School last year. It was before that. It started to grow before that during the pandemic, and now it's getting to the point where you're seeing more and more homeschooling opportunities. And it's kind of it's not alarming to me, but it's a head scratcher, you know, where I'm trying to find out what the reasoning is. Not like it's right or wrong. It's just curious.
Right. And in fact, you know, we provide the docents not only to greet the boats, but downtown when we have tours. And when we were at Lincoln Douglas Square in the heat, 110 degrees, I can't tell you how many parents were taking their homeschooled children on tours, and they go 12 months a year.
Yeah.
You know, they were down there in the summer, and they said, could we just listen? I said, of course you can listen. The city's paying us. You can listen. But they enjoyed it so much. So we are trying to, again, promote and say, we're very open, and if you want to bring a group, I mean, we have 2 high schools that we've never had before bringing groups of students, and we give a discount, and I even go and talk at their career days about careers in theater. But we also want all of the homeschools who are networked.
Yeah.
They really do communicate with each other to think about bringing kids to the theater or having them in our class.
100%. Thanks for reminding me. I forgot I have a career fair at Alton High on the 27th of April to go to.
Tis the season. I've got a bunch of them.
We'll have some fun. We'll grab lunch during one of them. At 10:08, Lee Cox, thank you so much for your time.
You are welcome. I enjoyed seeing you, and I enjoyed news down here, and you guys have been great and get the word out for us, and it's harder and harder.
We'll just keep doing it.
The saddest thing is when people say, well, how do I find out about it? And I'm like, oh, come on, please.
Well, when I have that, I always say, are you one of the 600,000 people that saw the wallpaper in the 3 days? You know?
Right, but I mean, we do have a local radio station. We do have your show. We do have online.
You got to choose not to find it at this point.
Exactly. I'm like, do you have a phone? I mean, we're not on TV because I think a 4-minute spot was $1,800 4 years ago. I can only imagine.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you. They all thought I was lying to them.
No.
They thought that I was lying for a year. And you guys did. You sent me text saying, oh, they don't do that over in St. Louis. All those shows are pay to play. Okay? I hate to tell you that.
Getting up at 5 a.m. and then trying to look wide-eyed.
Look good for spending $4,000, for 4 minutes. And that's why I'm so glad we do this here, because, what's funny, Lee, we're on TV too. And that's what I think's amazing. 35,000 Roku channel downloads, and it shows that people care about local, and we don't make you pay the mortgage of $4,000. That is just insane. Just insane.
It really is, because they get chatter, and you have content that's like, nothing.
Yeah, and then you leave going, man, I forgot to say that.
Yes.
All the time. 1010, AltonLittleTheater.org, AltonLittleTheater.org. Man, I am behind. Luis Noya calls us in for sports next.